name is Daniel, and in this video I will show you more about the charting possibilities. I basically show you step by step how you create such chart containers in AgenaTrader. In my last video I were explaining how you can get data in AgenaTrader or different brokerage services. In this video I will talk about supported chart types, what are the various chart containers we have from single chart to list based charts. I will talk about the talking system, drag and drop system, which allows you to create a single monitor or multi-monitor workspace. I will talk about creating charts, where you can select the history length and the time frame you want to see. I will also show you then how to change the time frame afterwards, or how to add an indicator or oscillator which we support. I will show you the feature multi-data series, where you can add multiple symbols to one chart. And I will also show you how to apply drawing objects within the chart. Last but not least, as a short outlook for the future videos, I will show you then how to enter a quick trade via this chart. So let's switch to the AgenaTrader workspace, and as we already saw, we have our default workspace which opens at the first time when you install AgenaTrader. You will have several chart containers already open for you, like the World Indices list. This is a list chart group container, and it will show a list of different symbols and up to 3 or up to 4 time frames. In this case we had 3. The next list is the DAX 30. It has also a list with up to 3 different time frames, and you can edit or customize the list, which is also the scanner, via the chart toolbar, edit columns, or with the commands you will find in the toolbar. You can also edit it by right-clicking inside the scanner and opening context menu. The next chart is a single chart, which has one symbol in it in one time frame only. And the last one, new list, is again a list chart group. Here I would like to show you how to add new symbols, like selecting the symbols column and then start typing the symbol or the name of the instrument. But you can also add and remove symbols by hitting the plus or minus button on the toolbar on the very top. But what we want to do in this video, we will create our own workspace. So we go to main. So in the main menu toolbar, we go to main, and then we select workspaces and new. This opens a small window where I have this define a name. I call it new workspace and click OK. And now you see the empty workspace only leaves open the main menu toolbar and the status toolbar on the very bottom. I will open a new single chart by going to main, new chart container, single chart. This opens a small window for chart configuration. If you want to read more about this window, you can simply click the light bulb, which will open the online help article for this very settings. The first thing we have to do is we have to define an instrument. For example, I could type in the Microsoft symbol. It will open a search option. Or I go to the 3 bullets button on the right side, and it will open a more advanced search window where I can filter for specific instrument types like future, and then search, for example, the name I'm selecting above, and then NASDAQ and Q, and by double clicking it, it is applied to the configuration. I am now searching, for example, for the Euro US dollar Forex symbol with the tree menu below. The tree menu is divided by asset class, exchanges and sectors, and in the currency part, I'm seeing my forex symbols and exchange, and then I can find the euro US dollar, and by double clicking it, it is applied to the settings. The next option allows me to select the periodicity, which allows me to see the different ways charts are drawn, from tick charts, second charts, minute charts and more, or even range charts, Heikki Nashi and others. The interval allows me to define a specific range chart. In this case, I want to see 5 ranges, and the period allows me to define the history length of the chart. Bars count means always 500 bars will be shown in the chart. Time period allows me to set days back, for example 20 days back in history, or a specific start date and time even. The maximum bars loaded prevents you from loading too much bars. If you want to increase the limit, you have to go to the configuration is called chart configuration. Template is also very important. Here you can choose from existing template, or with none you can start creating your own template. I'm choosing none, and I will create my own template and click OK, and as you see, it will open the chart. And after I'm connecting to a data feed like AgenaTrader by main connection connect AgenaTrader, which we learned how to add it in the last video about data and brokerage. Now my chart is loaded and I see my 5 range candles. With the mouse wheel up and down, I can zoom in and zoom out of the chart via the time axis at the bottom. So mouse wheel up is zooming in, mouse wheel down is zooming out. The same function you can achieve via the chart toolbar. Every chart has its toolbar, like we learned, and with the plus zoom and minus zoom I can do the same. If I move my mouse pointer on the right side of a chart in the price axis, I can now click the left mouse button and drag and drop it down, or scroll up and scroll down in this way. The same thing works for the time axis at the very bottom, to the left and the right. If I remain with my mouse pointer inside the price and time axis and scroll up and down with the mouse wheel, I can do the same again. By pressing the control button and simultaneously using the mouse wheel up and down, I'm scrolling via the price axis, and if I press and hold Ctrl and Alt together and using my left mouse button, I can move the chart around in any direction, either via price or time axis. And like I said, with the mouse wheel up and down, I'm zooming in and out via the time axis. To realign or readjust your chart, an arrow to the right will appear to move you to the last candle, or inside the price axis at the very top or bottom there is a pin which aligns your chart as per standard configurations. If you right click in the chart, you can open the context menu with various options. If you're connected to a broker, you can create orders directly in the chart, either manual discretionary orders or 80++ automated orders, order setups in this case. You can reload the chart, you can reload scripts like conditions and indicators of the chart. You can edit the very bar you have selected in the chart, and you can review the edited data. Another option is to add a price alert. When you added it, you can now click the box of the price alert and select the sound. Next to this box there is a small button for settings, and by clicking the X button on the right side of the price alert, you can remove it. Another option would be to add an indicator alert. The indicator alert can only be added after you have already applied some indicator to the chart. The next option is for socializing. You can, for example, if you're logged into Trader's Yard, you can share a chart picture to Trader's Yard or Facebook or Twitter if you have accounts also there, or you can even share a chart analysis with a group you're joined in Trader's Yard. You could even share trades and orders in a group with Trader's Yard. However, some more settings about Trader's Yard can be found in the configuration escort. But as you see, after I logged into my Trader's Yard account, which is you can register there for free, you can now start sharing to these accounts. The last options for settings show you all the settings available to format your chart or to work with the chart. The very same options you will find in the chart toolbar on the top. It might be easier in the beginning to use the context menu because it shows the symbol and the name, but if you go to the main chart toolbar, where I'm moving with a mouse now, and you're hovering over one of these symbols and remain there for a little while, it will also show you the name as a tooltip, so you know for each symbol what it is meant for. The first option, which shows the symbol, will open the instrument escort. This feature contains all the details about these instruments, like instrument data, or if it is connected to a provider. As we learned in the last video, we can import instrument and markets and instrument lists. After importing, they will show up in the instrument escort, and only then you can open a symbol, receive data for a symbol. The next one allows you to change the time frame for an open chart. And if you don't find your preferred time frame, you can go to the custom parameters, which will open the chart configuration again, and you can change it from there. This button, secondary data series, will allow you to add more instrument data into one chart, and you can then compare the performance of these different markets. The next option allows you to change the chart style from a candle chart to a line chart to a bar chart, Heikin-Ashi or more. Then we will have the drawing objects. We have more than 30 drawing objects available, and simply by selecting one of the objects, we can then start drawing inside the chart. The Elliott waves will only be available with an additional add-on. You have then more options for removing objects from the chart, removing all objects simultaneously, and even disable showing drawings, so they will disappear and appear again when you enable it. More info about drawings in another video. The next option for indicators allows you now to add a lot of indicators which already come with the basic version. The standard indicators are more than 110, and simply by using the tree menu, I can now search for my desired indicator. By double clicking it, I can select it and it will be moved to the mid section. Everything which is in the mid section can then be applied to the chart. On the right side, I can change the parameter settings for every selected indicator or condition. If I don't want to use the tree menu but search for specific indicators, I can use the search function above the tree menu, and for example I searched for the SMA and it will show me the SMA, and by double clicking it I can edit and then start changing the parameter settings. Premium indicators would be available with additional add-ons, same for scripted indicators, or you could script your own indicator with a AgenaScript. Conditions are signals basically, which you can even create yourself, buy from others. I'm adding now, for example, these two example conditions which are coming with a Andromeda version for training purposes. This is the MACD crossover long and short. If you want to know more about how the symbol works, simply open the condition as code and read the specific configurations for this signal. This is about 80++ conditions. We will learn about this in a later video. To understand the signal, of course, I will also add the MACD indicator so I can compare the symbols with the indicator itself. Another nice option in the parameters, I can, after I apply the indicators to the chart, specific panels have opened for oscillators and for the signals, and I could now go to visual chart panel and assign the two conditions to chart panel 1, which would mean that both these signals would only show up in the same panel. By going to the border of this panel box, I can start making it smaller. Left mouse click and drag it down. And now I could start analyzing my signals. The red down arrows is the short signal, the green up arrows are long signal. Let's draw a trend line. Go to the chart toolbar and select drawing object trend line, and as you see, once I selected it, my mouse pointer changes into a pen. Left click, I can start draw the object inside the chart. After I'm finished with drawing, I have to right click to switch back to the mouse pointer, and by double clicking the drawing object I can open configurations and change the configuration, like the color I extended to the right, for example. I can even save a template for later usage. By left click I can select it again, and once it is selected I can hit the del button and it will remove it. Let's go to the next option in the chart toolbar. The next option shows the strategies. Here I could add or start custom-made strategies, self-scripted strategies, or AgenaTrader++ strategies. But for AT++ automated trading strategies, I have another button, the red AT++ button, and here I could select various different automated strategies which I have created with the AT++ manager. However, the AT++ manager is discussed in another video. But if you click and activate the strategy, it will show up in the chart. In a specific time frame it was activated. The black arrow to the left button allows me to show the full history of the chart, and the mouse pointer options allow me to change my mouse pointer to different versions, like crosshair, global crosshair. In my scenario I would like to work with the global crosshair. I will later on show you what the global means. The public mode is a nice feature to hide your account balance and your profits and your losses. For this, I will connect to a broker like the SIM account. I will go to main connections, connect SIM account. This is a simulated account which we learned for simulated trading. So when I now right click inside the chart, I can start adding orders. This would be proposal orders, so they are not immediately sent to this account. I could change the configuration of these orders inside the boxes, and by activating it with the checkbox next to the order size, I would now activate the order and send it to the connected account. One very important information is, if you are connected to a broker but you still cannot create orders, you might have disabled this very asset class for this brokerage account. So please check your account connection setup and enable the asset class or market which you would like to trade in. And as you see, if I now click the public mode button, it hides the profit loss and the order size. By clicking the X button on the left side of the boxes, order bar boxes, I can close the trade. The next option, the progress bar for the chart, we already learned in the last video about data and brokerage. However, this progress bar will only show up in a time-based chart and not for non-based chart like this range chart. Next, we can, with the clock, we can change and enable outside market hours, which will then also show ticks and bars which happened outside regular market hours. However, this will only work if a data feed really provides you with good data. Most of the time you will only see a few ticks which happened a few minutes after the market was closed. The chart template part we will discuss later when we save our chart template, but the instrument list button next is very interesting. Here you can see in which instrument this very symbol is active. It could be possible that the one symbol is not active in any list, but by selecting additional lists you can add this Euro/US dollar symbol in several different lists or deactivate it, to remove it again from the lists. Another nice option is the grid. I can show an X grid and epsilon grid or deactivate it completely, and I could also show a daybreak line. However, this daybreak line will only appear for history which is longer than 1 or more days. Last but not least, I could change the linear price scale to a logarithmic price scale. The next option shows me price markers, for example, in the price panel on the right side. So I have price marker, price line, alert lines, for example. I can activate spread price markers and the spread line in the chart. The spread price markers will appear in the price axis. The spread lines will show up inside the chart. Of course, to see the spread much better, you should switch to a smaller time frame, like 1 minute, and you can really see the spread lines and the price markers for this very instrument. The next option allows me to add some information about trading, like I could show the trade bars or hide the trader bars by activating or deactivating this option. I could display entry exit markers, trade lines, execution prices and some more infos, but we will learn more about these options later on in the video about trading. You have some more options about to save the chart picture, print the chart picture, or export the open, high, low, close prices of this chart to an Excel list. And you could change the color with the colored button. The back color option allows you to define one back color, and I'm choosing a light gray here and clicking OK. The gradient top color, gradient bottom color will allow you to have two different colors in the chart. And you have some more option to format your chart. One nice feature here would be to change the candle properties. If you want to have different colored candles and different styled candles, you can do this in this very setup. In my scenario, I will use a black upticking candle and a regular red down ticking candle. I also will deactivate the 3D style. I don't want to see 3D candles, and by applying it you will then see now a different colored chart. As next, we have an option to show the standard chart trading pad, which will open next to the chart on the right side. Clicking again will close it. Then we will open the DOM, the depth of market, together with the times and sales list. And if I have level 2 data, which we learned in the data video, I can also see now. I can then also see the market depth next to the chart. And as we learned, by clicking inside the chart with the left mouse button and typing in a symbol name, for example, I can also start searching very quickly inside the chart. And I was switching to a futures symbol where I receive level 2 data. Let me switch back in the same way to the Euro US dollar and go to the next option. Here in this option I can search for information in Google Finance, so it will open me all Google search results for the Euro US dollar symbol, or market in this case. By clicking the button again, it will disappear. On the very right side of each and every chart you have the chart action bar. Can be configured with your favorites and some additional functions. If you have a chart group with more than one time frame, you can maximize and minimize one chart. You have a pin. This pin will be enabled if you hide the action bar by default settings. I will show you how this works later on. You have the arrow to the left and right. If you click it, the last used feature will open. This could be the DOM, the standard trading pad, or the news from Google. And this Q button will open when you are connected through a trading account and allow you to open quick trades, which will immediately be sent to the broker. However, about trading and all this stuff we will learn in a future video. And again, via the action bar I can activate the standard trading pad, the DOM, and the Google News. Another option here in the action bar is to change the time frame. By moving the bar up or down, I can switch to the pre-configured time frames. The B and S button stands for buy and sell. These are automated strategies pre-configured for you at the moment. If you click it, it will create an order including stop loss and take profit target order. I'm deactivating the public mode so I can see the order size, because I would be able to change this order size again. Because this order size was calculated automatically. in the automated trading strategy I chose. However, like I said, for 80++ trading strategies, we will learn more about it in a future video. By clicking the X button on the chart boxes, and if I click it for the entry order, I can remove the complete setup. Let's change the action bar. We go to the settings button, which is on the very top. It will give me the general settings, and if I select now open on click in price scale, it will be hidden and only appear if I click in the price scale. I will also deactivate the periodicity time frame bar. And now the nice stuff is happening with the edit indicators options. So I'm going to the indicator category at the very bottom. Then I click on edit, and now you see the same indicator selection box we saw before, and I can start searching and adding indicators and conditions to this action bar. In my scenario, I want again the MACD indicator plus the MACD crossover long and crossover short signal plus the SMA 20. So I'm searching for these indicators and signals, double clicking it, and which will select them, and then later on I'm changing the parameter settings, like I'm changing the color for the MACD signals, or I'm changing the color for the SMA 20 together with the period from 14 to 20 in the parameter settings. Clicking OK will now load these action bar settings inside configuration box. Clicking on apply will apply it. Apply for all would mean you will apply these changes for all your workspaces. The entry as code category allows me to activate automated trading strategies or semi-automated trading strategies. Again, 80++ feature. Timeframes, I can select or remove timeframes I don't want to see, or customize timeframes I don't see yet. I can add an instrument list to the action bar. I will explain then how this works as well. I can add drawing objects to the action bar to quickly access my favorite drawing objects. I'm adding the ruler and the trend line, for example. Last but not least, I can also add price styles if I want to quickly access it. Applying it will apply it to the action bar. If I click OK, I will close the window. As you see, now the action bar hides, but as soon as I click in the price axis, it appears. By moving my mouse out of the action bar, it disappears again. And this new list, instrument list, which we added before, was active because my symbol here was in this list. If I deactivate it via this button, I can easily remove it from the list again, or later on add it. You see now as well my signals and indicators. If I hover over one of these buttons, the indicator or signals will appear. If I click this button, it will remain, otherwise it will be removed again. Now you can see that the pin on the very top right is also active, because now I could go in this direction, that I want to pin this action bar and have it remained open for the moment, so it's not closing when I move my mouse outside of it. Click the ruler and can start drawing. Right click allows me to switch back to the mouse pointer, and I can select another drawing like the trend line. Right click again, I'm switching back to the regular mouse pointer. If I point my mouse pointer to a very candle and then press and hold the left mouse button, it will show me the data box of this very candle and chart. So it will show me the open, high, low, close prices of a candle and the specific price of an indicator loaded at this period. There are some more general settings for the chart in the configuration escort. For example, if you go open the configuration escort and go to chart category, you can now choose a right side margin, upper lower margin, which I chose 10 and 80. I could change a snapshot template, which will be made after a trade was closed, snapshot history, a maximum of loaded bars to prevent you from loading too much bars and decrease the performance. What I would recommend to activate is the synchronization of a tab chat group, and probably to exclude weekends, so on the weekends there are no candles drawn. My settings here would be then the preferred settings to exclude weekends. If you want to read more for each and every option you have here available, just simply click on the light bulb, then you will open the landing page for the configuration escort. You choose configuration escort charts, and then you will have everything you need to know about these settings here. So let me show you what happens if you switch the upper lower margin to 60. Like I said, you will decrease the margin on the top and the bottom. However, I'd like to have a tight chart, so I leave this with 80. Click on apply and OK will save the changes you made. Once again, you will find this menu under Tools, Settings, Configuration Escort, and then Category Chart. Okay, I finished formatting and customizing my chart. I can now go and save a template, which we saw with the chart template command. I can save it as, and then I can select the name. I would choose new chart, click OK, and now all the settings are saved and I can reuse it for other charts. Please note, if you change anything on the chart, you have to go and save it again as inside the template. Go again to chart templates and click save. You can also save it as default, which would allow you then to, it will be proposed every time you open a chart as default settings. So this is this non-chart which I used, or of course I can delete a template. But now what I want to do is to save my workspace completely. So next time I open AgenaTrader, it will show up in this way. For this I go to Main, Workspaces, and then Save. You should save your workspace a couple of times if you do a lot of changes to avoid that your changes are getting lost. However, like I explained, if you make changes in the chart template, you have to save it again in the template. If you make complete changes in the workspace, like opening new containers, you have to save it in the workspace. Let's make a short summary what we just heard. We created a single chart container with creating a new chart options. We talked about chart navigation with mouse or keyboard. There is a chart context menu we learned with right clicking in the chart. We can do chart trading via this menu, selecting orders and order types. We can add price and indicator alerts via this menu. We can do socialized trading via Trader's Yard, for example, but also to Twitter and Facebook. We have additional settings, which will be the same like we will see now for the chart toolbar. The chart toolbar, as we learned, is on top of every chart, and it provides you an option with finding instrument data, changing time frames, adding a second data series or even more than 2 data series. You can draw objects on the chart for your chart analysis. You can add indicators to the chart for your analysis. We have strategies, and as an example, this 80++ strategy. We have chart templates option, where we can save our changes to a template to reapply it on other charts. We can activate a trading pad for trading next to the chart. We can activate the DOM, the depth of market, for the market book, for the order book. And we can add Google News for the very loaded instrument, and some more options. As next, we will talk about the single chart group container, where we can now add more than one chart in one container in different time frames and apply our chart templates.